Going on, nation? Keith Billis, C. Marty Fit, Danny DeVecchio joining us here in the lab. I just wanted to say that name out loud there, C. Marty Fit.
I like that name.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was working on spelling it last night. I'm like, okay, I got to get the two C's. I got to get the two C's correctly, C. Marty.
Two C's.
I would have put a K there.
No K's in Italian. It's one of the only things that my parents really got right.
That's awesome.
No, just kidding. I'm sorry.
I have been eagerly waiting for this chat for a long time, and I'm going to tell you all why. So I've been watching DeVecchio's work on LinkedIn for a while. See, Marty, the guy's a video king. The guy is a video king. So if we're moving into a world of video, and you know, see, Marty, I know you do a couple videos a week, maybe one or two.
A little more than that.
Yeah, I might do a video every now and then. I'm like, oh, I think I like this guy over here drinking the Kool-Aid, Danny DeVecchio. So we're going to talk Danny and video for the first half an hour. Maybe Danny sticks around for the whole show, not too sure. Accountability check-in on the 16-minute mark, talking audacious goals today. The 41-minute mark, we have a creator spotlight. Going to call somebody up to the stage today and shine the light on them like we like to do every single day here on the show. But today, C. Marty Fit, we are here. Oh, man, we are here to absolutely shine the light on DeVecchio. The guy with the two C's. And I love dude, you're like the peace guy. You are a personal self-branding machine, Danny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how that came about, but I just figured it out over the last 5 years or so.
But you're good at it and you get it. Like you totally get it. Like Chris, when I see Danny, it's the hat, it's the peace sign, and there's this aura, this attitude about you in a really positive way. Like it's clear who Danny DeVecchio is to me. And when I look at you, Danny, and I'm not trying to do love fest on you, but you seem very approachable. You seem very workable. You're like, hey man, I'm here to help you. And the personal brand that you portray, it really works for you, man. I'm telling you, it really works for you. And I just want to tell you that to start the show off.
I appreciate that. And it's just me. Like I don't try to be I don't try to play a persona or a character or anything. I think when you first start getting into content creation and especially videos, you start to find your voice or find your character or whatever it is. But really, it's just me.
It's just you. Yeah. So it's interesting to hear you say that. C. Marty Fit, there was a guy here in Canada yesterday, passed away, 57-year-old broadcaster. And I weave this into the conversation because it's about video. His name is Darren Detition. A couple years older than I am. I was rocked by it, gentlemen. I was rocked by it yesterday. I was like, holy fuck. Because I grew up with this guy, watching him on television every single day. Why do I weave it in, Danny? Because I trusted him. Because of video. Every single day I watched him on Sports Center, delivering me the news, C. Marty Fit, building trust for like 20, 30 years. Right? And that's the power of video, Danny. I weave this back in because, and you've seen my parade here on LinkedIn, Danny. I do this to build trust. Because I think if I'm showing up every single day showing you that I'm showing up and you can see who I am behind the camera, you're like, okay, maybe I like this guy, maybe I don't. It doesn't really matter, but I think I can trust him because he keeps showing up all the time. That to me is the power of video. And that's what I love that you're doing here on the platform, especially as LinkedIn pivots to video.
Totally.
Real quick, Danny, I just want to add this in. That's true, Keith, because even in my space, in the fitness space, with me posting content consistently, whenever people have a question or they see a workout that's questionable or they hear a diet tip that's questionable, they come and ask me just because I'm posting consistently and I'm always showing up, just like you said.
Yeah. Yep. So, Danny, who is Danny DeVecchio and why video, my friend?
Oh, man. Those are like two separate questions that I need to like kind of unpack.
Who's Danny? Let's start with who's Danny DeVecchio.
Right, so a little background on me, I guess. So I started a career in sales. Right? So I was a party guy, failed out of college. I sucked.
No.
Yeah. And ended up getting a job at a local, I'm dating myself here, but I got a job at a local Radio Shack as a sales rep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Everybody, shout out to the Shack, which no longer exists anymore.
Selling TRS-80 computers?
Yeah. So I sold, I think it was after that. We were selling smartphones and stuff. Yeah. But no, so I started doing that. And I worked my way from like retail sales. I went to work for AT&T, and then I got into B2B sales. And then I grew in my sales career. I ended up becoming a sales manager, a sales director, and a sales trainer. So my core background is in sales. But alongside of my sales career, In 2014, 15 or so, I got into podcasting. And I listened to this one podcast. All right. You guys watch Impractical Jokers? Are you familiar with that show?
Yeah, 100%.
I've never seen that.
So you've never seen it? Holy shit. You got to go check out a couple episodes.
Check
Early
out.
ones, though. You got to look at some of the early ones. It's amazing. So basically, the show is like 4 dudes from Staten Island who challenge each other to do like silly shit in public. It's not like I guess you would call it like a prank. Some people call it a prank show, but it's like that. Anyway, I was obsessed with that TV show, and 2 of the guys had a podcast, and I went, and it was the first podcast I ever listened to. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, these guys just like hang out and like, tell stories, and this is fun. So I got a friend of mine, and I was like, let's start a podcast, man. So we started this podcast, and we would just bullshit about TV and movies and that kind of thing. And then we ended up, I ended up like wanting to start another podcast because I was trying to like expand on the first one. And at the time, let's see what was going on at the time. There was all these podcasts about TV shows, and like the big TV shows at the time was Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, right? Those shows were on air at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and look on iTunes, there's like 1,000 podcasts about each one of these shows. So I was like, you know what? There's no podcast about Impractical Jokers, the TV show. There's none.
No
So I was like, I'm going to start one. So I started a Impractical Jokers podcast. And I got a friend of mine to co-host it or whatever. And dude, 500,000 downloads.
What?
Man.
20,000 followers across like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and like this giant community of like global community of people that were invested and consistently listening to this podcast.
That's amazing.
And I grew the entire thing. I never spent $1. It was all organic social media. So basically, I never made any money off this podcast at all. But what it did for me was it taught me how to build up how to become a content creator and use social media to promote my business, really. So I really learned those 2 things. So then when I went to go start my own business in 2022, and I started a coaching business, and basically what I was like, okay, let me take the 2 things that I know best: social media and how to build an audience and grow and interact with the audience, and sales. So this way I can tie those 2 things together and help people build their brand on social media and use it to ultimately make sales. Now, as I'm going and doing this, I learned that I need to obviously be creating video content now. This is like how you promote yourself. And I was on Instagram, and they just had come out with reels and everything like that. So I was like, all right, I got to get on the video train. So I started doing video. And then I started telling my coaching clients, I'm like, you guys need to get on video. And there was a challenge for them, right? It was a challenge. It was a challenge for some of them because they're like, I don't have the time to do what you're asking me to do here with the video. Like, I don't have time to go and record and script and edit a video. I'm like, this is crazy. So I was like, okay, all right, that's a problem that I need to solve. And then there was other people who were just like, they turned the camera on and it was like horrible. And I'll give you a really funny story. One of my friends that I grew up with was a real estate agent. His name's Sal. And he's one of the best looking guys, outgoing. Everybody loves him. Very well spoken. And he was one of my clients for this service to build his brand online. And I tell him, dude, you got to be making videos. And he's like, I don't want to do it. I don't like it. But I'm like, look, here's what you do. Just record a video, send it to me. I'll help you and I'll walk you through and teach you how to edit it so that you know what to do. So I'm like, here's what you should talk about, everything. I give him the whole lowdown. He basically comes back to me. He sends me this video and I'm like, this is the worst thing I have ever seen. I can't even work with this.
See Marty's face.
I'm like,
I wasn't expecting you to say that, Danny. That's not what I was expecting at all.
It was the worst.
It was the worst, he says.
Crazy. Absolute worst. So I tell him, Sal, I got an idea. Come with me into the studio. I got Riverside FM. Come with me into the studio. Let me see if I can help. Ask you some questions and see if we can make some video content that way. About 20 minutes later, we were in the studio. About 20 minutes, we had 10 pieces of video content. And I was at that point that I realized, all right, I got something.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to work on trying to figure out how to turn that into a business. And here's the thing, I was promoting on Instagram because remember, I was working for paychecks at the time. So my boss and everybody, their boss and everybody's, the entire company is connected with me on LinkedIn. So I can't be posting about my side hustle on LinkedIn. So all my content is going on Instagram. And I get to this. So I'm basically trying to promote this service and nobody's buying it. Like literally nobody. Because everybody on Instagram is like already comfortable doing video.
Yes.
So basically I ended up I had a whole company, I had a business partner, and we had all these strategies and plans and all, we were working on all this stuff, and we shut it down in May of last year.
Wow.
Yep. So about 1 year ago, we completely shut the entire business down. 2 months later, it blew up on LinkedIn, exact same service.
Come on.
Swear to God, that's the story. That's so.
Wow.
Prior to shutting the business down, I basically I noticed that people on LinkedIn were having struggles with video. Right? I definitely noticed that, but I didn't. But I really wasn't pushing it. I was pushing my coaching program and everything like that because that's what I was trying to help people with, sales and social. And but before I shut the business down, I had reached out to Leah Turner on LinkedIn. And I don't know if Leah on LinkedIn, she's got a very large following.
Okay.
And not just a large following, but just almost like a cult following.
Yeah.
People love her. Her community is like all in on her. She posted something on Twitter and she wrote, my videos on LinkedIn, in a strange turn of events, my videos on LinkedIn are outperforming all my other content from both a leads perspective and an impressions perspective. And I was like, interesting. And then she writes, too bad I hate doing them. And I was like, there's my window right there. So I go in and I reach out to her, and I basically what I said to her is, I said, I know you're very well respected on LinkedIn, and you really know what you're talking about when it comes to that platform. And I have a service that I don't know if the LinkedIn market would be a good place for it. And I was like, is it okay if I just share a little bit of the service, a little bit about it, and you tell me if you think it's viable? And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I sent her a voice note, like a 1-minute voice note explaining the service. This is how it works. And she's like, people should be lined up to buy that. And I said, okay, cool. I was like, well, are you interested in doing it? I'm like, I will do it for you 100% for free. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, of course. If you like it, if it works out, you do give me like a testimonial or something, and that would be worth my time to help you out with this. And she was like, yeah, of course. So she signed up for to do the recording, rescheduled it 2 times. So it was like, it didn't happen until a couple months later. And it actually happened after we had already shut the company down. And then she actually did the recording, and it took her like 2 months before she actually shared one of the videos on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
But when she did share it, she shared it with a testimonial, and like a very glowing testimonial for my process and what I do and how easy it is and how good of an output that you get for how simple and fast and easy it is. And when she did that I woke up, remember she's in the UK, and she posted this at, I don't know, 3:00 in the morning, my time or something like that. So I woke up at 5 a.m. to an inbox with like 300 connection requests and messages. And I ended up signing 6 clients that morning.
Yeah.
And I've been signing clients for that service ever since. It hasn't stopped. So really, I owe a lot of my success to Leah Turner early on. But that's a long story of who I am, and then how the video thing got started and happened.
Wow. What a cool story. From Radio Shack to see Marty starting a business, a year later, shutting the business down. I'm going to also imagine, Danny, while you're shutting it down, the stress in your head, looking at your family, going to bed at night on a Friday, going, holy, what the hell am I going to do on Monday? Imagine what's going on in your head, right? You're chasing, you're wondering, and then serendipitously, this happens. But to me, the message is because you kept going. Hey, see, Marty, we talk often about not continuing going, but Danny, you just kept going. You had this attitude of keeping going.
You can't lose if you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay.
Now I was going to say you can't lose if you don't quit. You keep going, you're going to win eventually. And a lot of people don't win because they give up at some point. So no, I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, totally. That's ultimately what ends up happening is like people are like, after it, then they give up at this point where they're almost there too. I've watched this happen because I've been on social media for like 4 or 5 years, posting like very consistently from Instagram to LinkedIn, and people are out there putting themselves out there and like just not getting the return. And believe me, like I started posting on LinkedIn in November of 22. And the very end of November of 22. That's when my streak started or whatever.
Yeah,
I posted yesterday about the streak,
in a few moments,
535 days in a row. That's when I started. And like this happened in June or July of last year. So you got to think that's like 8 months of posting every day without missing a day on LinkedIn to get to that point. And then not to mention all the other stuff that's going on in the background. Like I had just moved. I moved from New York to South Carolina. I sold my house. And had I not done that, and had I not made bank on the house, like I wouldn't have been able to quit my job at Paychex. And then I ended up like quitting my job, and then the business was going nowhere. So you're right. There was a level of stress. Oh shit, what am I going to do? Am I going to have to go get a job? Like there was a lot of that. But now I'm at a point where the business is like, it's going well. And we're just looking to figure out how to take it to the next level and put in some more systems as we continue to scale and make it better.
That's exceptional. That's a great story, Danny. I obviously,
that is a great story.
Yeah, I did not know that. I know C Marty didn't know that, and I'm not sure how much LinkedIn or Business Athlete Nation knows about that. But that really sets the stage for me to get to know you, and I thank you for sharing that with me. I think that's an exceptional story, and what it does now is it allows me to, as I see you continuing to work on the platform, I now have the root of what drives you, which is exceptional. It's absolutely exceptional. So at this point of the show, C Marty, let's jump into our accountability check-in. We every single morning. Go ahead, C Marty.
No, I was just going to say I'm motivated. I feel like running through a wall after hearing that story. So,
I know.
I'm ready to get to work. What we got?
Because we're talking accountability right now. But like I was saying to Danny, I was saying to C Marty before I showed up this morning, I was in bed by like 9:30 last night. I was all happy, excited. I get to bed early and I got a big lift this morning. But the accountability check-in, we do it every single day. See, Marty, it's the theme of the show. I know that people start their days, they wake up, they hit the snooze button. Sometimes they look at their calendar and they go, oh man, I don't want to do what I got to do. And in some ways, it's a segue to what you just told us. As you were going through your journey, like, oh, smokes, I got to shut the business down. Now what do I got to do? I got a family. I got to sell my house. It's about accountability, and it's about continuing to show up. So today, guys, the accountability check-in today is on Friday. It's a reality check, nation. You're not going to hit that audacious goal today. True story. You're not going to do it. You are not going to hit that audacious goal today. Why? Because you probably got too much going on. I'm going to suspect that you got this massive to-do list on Friday. I bet you wake up today, nation, and you're like, oh, I got all these things I have to do. I'm going to make a recommendation here, Chris, on a Friday morning, May 17th, Danny. I'm going to tell nation today that look at your massive list of things to do and just stop overwhelming yourself today. Just actually stop. Just say to yourself, you know what? I'm not doing these 30 things today. No. Think about what your audacious goal is and just do one. Just do one. And I know that's so simple and cliche, Danny. Chris, I know it's so simple and cliche, but sometimes we need somebody to remind us of that. And I'm telling you right now, everybody, so I got a massive list of things to do today. And I looked at it, I'm like, nah, I'm going to do one thing really well. I was excited about the conversation today with Danny, Chris. I was excited about this, but I'm like, no, I'm going to do one thing really well today because that's going to move me towards my audacious goal of building the biggest talk show on LinkedIn. And if I do that one thing today, and then at the end of my day, reflect upon it, that to me is going to be my movement. So I'm just offering to everybody up here today that you are considering that you're going to solve your audacious goal today, you're probably not going to. So just get it out of your head. Danny, I see you maybe disagreeing a little bit. I see you causing a pause. Not disagreeing, but I see you.
No, I don't disagree at all. I like if there's one thing that you could do to move the needle forward towards that goal, then do it. Just get it done every day.
Yeah. I think that, Chris, I think that if I weave it back to what Danny's story was, I'm going to suspect, Danny, during your journey, making the decisions to shut down the business, the social media, Instagram business, you woke up during that weekend or during that time frame with a lot of things in your head and a lot of things on a list. But during that, you're like, nah, you found Turner. You made one video, you made one voice note, you reached out, you knocked on her door, you focused on that one thing. And look what that one thing turned into. The one thing turned into 536 now, because I saw your post this morning. Yeah. 536 consistent posts. See Marty Fit. Danny DeVecchio has posted for 536 days in a row. Dude, what have you learned during those 536 days, Danny?
It's a lot of 536 days is a long time. So I can't like boil it down to one thing that I've learned. I learned a lot. First off, I learned the LinkedIn platform, right?
Yeah.
So as far as my level of knowledge on the LinkedIn platform, it's of people who are on here. I feel like my level of knowledge and experience on this platform, I'm top 1% for sure. So I've learned definitely this platform and some of the nuances, and I've done it very differently than most people do LinkedIn. Like a lot of people like will tell you, oh, a video on LinkedIn, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's how I built my entire brand. If you look at those 536 posts or whatever it is, at least 300 of them are videos.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, just sometimes you got to be different.
Yeah, just exactly. You got to be different. You got to just be yourself, and you got to lean into what your strengths are, right? So if you are a great writer, then you should mostly write. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't throw a couple videos up there too.
Yeah.
Or if you are great at video, you should be also writing copy too. And I recently met with some of my, I guess, buddies that I've met through LinkedIn. And we had like in-person meetup, and we did a little bit of a mastermind think tank kind of thing. And one of the things that they recommended for me was, hey, you stop writing and you went to all video. And I'm like, I did. And they're like, should go back and do some more writing. So I'm making that change. And so I'm probably going to go from doing 5, 6, 7 videos a week, getting that down to more like 4 and doing more written posts. Also, I will not keep the streak going.
Oh,
yeah.
What are we doing, Danny? What's
Dude.
What's going on?
We're breaking. See, Marty, we're breaking news right now this morning.
I'm going to break the streak. At this point, I have been going for 536 consecutive days. I just don't need to anymore. I'm literally going every single day because I just don't want to break the streak. That's that's the entire reason. Like, I don't need to post 7 days a week anymore. I can take a day off and not have to like worry about it and not like stress out over posting. Like I posted on Christmas and New Year's Day and my kids' birthdays or whatever it is, right? Because I felt like I got to do it. And so the streak will break.
If I can interject there, Danny, you had to. And let me explain. I think like myself, when I first jumped into the platform head first and I started figuring out my space, I said to myself, probably like you, videos about trust. If I want to build trust, I got to show up every single day. So that's what I started doing. And you saw it. I've been ubiquitous, just showing up every single day. I am like yourself, Danny, maybe getting to a point where I'm pulling that back a little bit. I'm going, okay, do I show up every single day? Of course, I do a live show every single day. I could do 2 of them every single day. But in my head, I'm recognizing like yourself that I have a foundation in place now. People know Billis shows up. People know he's got a daily talk show. People know he's got a shock show in the morning. We know he's around. We know he's ubiquitous. We know he has a life. It's okay if he takes a couple of days off, right, Danny? And it's because we know he's going to come back. And I think that's what your reputation has done. And I know even Chris in the fitness industry, he shows up all the single time. Every single day he shows up. And then, which gives you the permission to say, you know what? Nah, today I'm just not going to do it because I know I'll be there tomorrow. And
Yeah,
people do that, right?
I did a post one time about how you shouldn't take a day off from LinkedIn until you've earned it.
Ah,
And I got a lot of fucking slack from it. I got a lot of haters. I got a lot of haters
Welcome to
on
my
that.
world.
Yeah. That's what happens when you put yourself out there online. You
Yes.
share your opinions. You're gonna get that, right?
yes.
Oh yeah.
But I said, like, if you, I'm like, yeah, sure, take a day off if you feel like you've earned it. But until you feel like you've earned it, don't take a day off.
I love that attitude.
Right?
I love
And
that attitude.
like at 536 days in a row, like I've earned it. I'm not sure when I'm gonna break the streak. Like, it's not gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't do it today, man. Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not gonna be tomorrow. It's not gonna be today. Obviously, I already posted today, but yeah, at some point, I'm just gonna be like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got one question for Danny. It's a little different. So when you
Robert
were,
Coe. What's up, Robert? Sorry.
What's up, Robert? What's
up,
Michael?
Robert? What's going
Michael
on, Robert?
Hoodlow.
What's up, Michael?
Robert Coe. Go at it, see Marty. Go at it, pal.
Yeah, I was going to say on those times when you were stressed and things weren't working out, you had to shut the company down. What did you do to stay positive? What did you do to keep that mentality to say, hey, I'm gonna give it another try. I'm going to come right back to it. A lot of people don't have that mental toughness. What did you do to stay positive in those times?
Yeah.
Look, I have a really good support system. I have a great mentors and friends and family and everything like that. Also know that I have a family that depends on me to deliver and find a way to deliver for them. I got 2 boys. They're 4 and 7, right?
Yeah.
So it's real. I can't disappoint those guys, and I need to provide for them. I need to be a revenue generator and a provider. That comes straight from my coach and mentor. Those 2 things are I need to be those 2 things. And I've seen a lot of people on social media, just followed a lot of people on social media, and I watch very closely and I watch where people take off. And I've seen people that just take off at different points. And some people take off real early on. And then I've seen other people that, like, it takes longer and they're working harder, but I see them working and working. And then ultimately they reach that point where it goes. And I knew that if I just kept putting in the work, that eventually that point is going to come. A really good example is another mentor and friend of mine. His name's Travis. He doesn't really mess around here on LinkedIn. He's an Instagram guy. But I found him early on when I started podcasting again when I was trying to figure out side hustle kind of situation. I started podcasting in 2021 again, and I joined his podcast mastermind group. And this guy I think he had about 6,000 followers on Instagram at the time. And I watched him every single day. He would make a video on Instagram. And this guy was really good at videos. Like I learned most of what I learned about making videos. I learned from Travis. All right. So like he's way better than I am. Let's just put it that way. And I feel like I'm pretty good. People call me the king of video on LinkedIn, which
You are good.
yeah.
No, see, Marty, hold on a second here, Danny. I'm gonna dismiss you for a moment. See, Marty, Danny DeVecchio is the video king. I've seen a lot of creators on LinkedIn, and I always come back to me. DeVecchio sets the bar, Chris. See, Marty, Danny DeVecchio sets the bar with video. So yeah, you call it your friend Travis. I haven't seen Travis's work, and I'm sure he's awesome. He's your mentor. But as far as I'm concerned, Nation, the bar is set by DeVecchio. No question about it. I'm just putting the fires out for any other kind of debate, Nation. DeVecchio is the king. So there you go, Danny.
There are some other really great video creators on this platform. I love Sheen Chen. She does a really good job on videos. I love Alex Sheridan.
Dalton Danks does great stuff on video too.
Who's that?
Dalton Danks. I like Dalton does.
Yeah. Dalton's he's got his game. He's on his game too. Yeah, there's a lot of really great video creators here as well. But so Travis, 6,000 followers on Instagram. Every day, a standout video every day. And it took him 1 year to go from 6,000 to 10,000.
Wow.
1 year. I'm like, dude, this guy, at some point it's going to happen for him. 2 weeks later, 100,000 followers.
No. What was it? What was the compound effect, Danny, for Travis, do you think?
He hit He figured out like he got to this point where he built this kind of cadence where he figured out how to reverse engineer attention. And this is like really how you can, this is how you do viral marketing. And I'm not a big viral marketing guy. Like my video content is not designed to help people go viral. My video content is way more designed to help people build that deeper connection to their audience and get people to move from like the casual viewer of your content into a potential client for you. So that's what I focus on. He focuses on here's how to create videos to get more views. And that's what he does. That's literally what he does now. And that's what he helps people with on Instagram. And he's amazing at it. He can basically take people from any niche and help them go viral because he knows how to reverse engineer attention. And he basically came up with this concept where he was talking to side hustlers and he was giving them ideas to help them create side hustles. And he had this hook was, here's a business idea, do something with it. He used this hook, like, here's a business idea, do something with it. And he would give them an idea on how to make $1,000 or $2,000 a month as a side hustle. And he did this over and over again because they were getting attention. And then one of them got to 1 million views. And then the next one got to 2 million views. And then people were coming back and they wanted to see all these videos. And then all of his videos started taking off. And boom, he ended up with 10 million views across like his videos. And because of the nature of the content where he was really giving people like actionable ideas and tips that they can go out and implement, it ended up growing a lot of followers for him. And he ended up hitting he went from, like I said, from 10 to 100 in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. Danny DeVecchio is with us this morning, Nation, with myself, C Marty Fit. We're coming up on the 37-minute mark. Hey, Danny, can you stick around for the rest of the show?
I'm good until about
we were at the 55-minute marks.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good until like about 9:30, and then
awesome.
I got a boogie for a sales call.
Beautiful. Yeah, we'll rock and roll to a 55-minute mark, and then we get the loop up for the second hour here. Coming up shortly, Nation, we have our creator spotlight. I'm going to shine a light on somebody this morning. They have no idea, and I love that. I love when I surprise somebody. It's awesome, Danny. We shine a light on them and create content and surprise them. It's great. So coming up in a few moments, we're going to do the creator spotlight. But Danny, there's somebody else I'm watching on the platform who I think is a star, a big fan, and I think you are too, Ryan Sullivan. Ryan's a great dude, creates great content on the podcast side of things.
Totally.
But I bring up Ryan with Shaking Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. See, Marty, if you haven't met Ryan yet, you got to meet Ryan. He's building a great business, great podcast, a great dude who's on my show as well. Really enjoyed meeting and getting to know Ryan. But what I'm getting at, Danny, is that Ryan comes from the world of podcasts and audio podcasts like you did. Video is now making a big splash into the world. There's people that are audio first and they're going, oh man, I don't know if I want to do video. And yet people have heard me say enough times that podcasts were really the result of technology limitations. We weren't streaming content 10, 15 years ago on our Blackberries and our Trios and the stuff you were selling at Radio Shack. But today, the idea of downloading 17,000 songs to your phone is streaming and video is the future. What are you saying to somebody, Danny, who's reluctant, who's hesitant, who's, I don't know if I want to do video? I think I know your answer, but what's your POV on you got to embrace video? When you sit down with Ryan Sullivan and Ryan's like, podcast, but yes, video. How do we have that conversation, Danny?
Yeah, so ultimately, and I'm going to go back to Travis again for a second here because I was in the same position. That's where I came from. I came from the audio world, and I definitely wanted to be heard, but not seen. It doesn't help that I was like 90 pounds heavier and didn't really like the way that I looked on camera either. So like that played like a big role into it. Ultimately, I realized that, and Travis was the one that really said to me, he's like, look, if you want to make the kind of impact that you want to make, and build the kind of brand that you want to build, then you need to get out on video. You need to show people people need to see your face. They need to hear your voice. They need to see to get your mannerisms and everything like that. And this is how people connect, right? So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. And that's it. You just have to make the decision to do it.
Yeah.
And when you make the decision to do it, here's the way that I recommend.
Yeah.
Every day. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I wanted to point out something with my content, and I'm probably not as knowledgeable as you, But two things that helped me, we talked about this, Keith, not too long ago. One, nobody cares. Like once your video's over, they go on with their life. They're not going to be thinking about your video at 9 o'clock at night. Like, hey, that video sucked that Danny did earlier. They're not going to be thinking about that. So that helps me. And then I wanted to say, since I'm a fitness guy, did like losing the weight, did that help your mentality some and help you get more comfortable on camera and like sharpen
Well,
some things for business?
yeah, it helped my entire life. You know what I mean? I was
Bingo. That's what I wanted right there.
Yeah, yeah. Everything got better. Everything from my business, my relationships, my obviously just overall health and energy and everything like that, because
Absolutely.
I prioritize that. And yeah, I was like,
And your
yeah,
confidence, Danny. And so the one word, your confidence, right?
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing, because when you have that confidence, that's what feeds into all those other areas of your life. And that definitely came from starting to get healthy and looking better, and yeah, and just being more comfortable.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, Danny, because I saw your post. Chris, if you haven't seen it, I invite you to go check out Danny's profile here after the show and scroll back. He posted it a couple weeks ago or about a week ago. Danny, you were very vulnerable. You shared the post of your pre 90 pounds, your post 90 pounds. It struck me, dude, as a human being. I'm like, oh man, like that's a vulnerable thing to do. But I will also tell you, human to human, how much I appreciated it, because it continued to build trust with you. I'm like, I trust this guy even more because he's sharing more about himself. Now you've shared your story in the first 42 minutes. I really get you now. I'm like, okay, I get what moves him. I get to motivate him. He's got a couple kids. He was reluctant, Chris, to get in front of video, which I think a lot of people are because of a lack of confidence.
Totally.
I agree.
Right. So, Danny, the fact that you looked in your own mirror one day and you're like, I got a family to take care of. I don't like what I see in the mirror. That might be the greatest thing, Chris, we've learned in today's show, actually, was that just that self-awareness, Danny, as a human being going, I got to change this part of me, because I don't know, DeVecchio. I don't know, man. I don't know if you get the note from Turner. I don't know if we're having this conversation today if you don't lose those 90 pounds. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it out.
Probably
I'm going to call it out, because that made you go, okay, this gives me the confidence to do the video. This makes me the confidence to pivot to LinkedIn. Like that moment for you was very much the light went on. And there's people listening right now to our show. May Long Weekend in the US next weekend. It's party time next weekend. There's people listening to the show right now, Danny, looking in their own mirror today going, oh man, I don't know. Should I call C Marty Fit to get my shit in order? Yeah, you should actually. Yeah, call C Marty. He'll help you get your shit in order. He'll help you be accountable, because if you want to be like Danny, you got to get the confidence first. That's what I believe anyways.
And it's like parallel in different areas of your life. So you're confident in fitness, confident in business. You're accountable in fitness, you're accountable in business. Work hard, and it's just across the board. So that's what's up, man.
Let's talk about streaks here. All right. So I'm upset. Like when I commit to something, I commit to it. So let's talk about this fitness streak for a second here. All right, so I started losing weight in 2020 and I lost about 50 pounds. Right. Then I gained 30 back.
Okay.
And then I moved to South Carolina in, let's see, in 22. So I moved to South Carolina in August of 22. And then I started to pick it back up again. Like after I moved here, we had a little gym in our apartment complex and everything. And I said, I'm going to go to the gym for 30 days straight. So whether doesn't matter what I do there, but I'm going to go to the gym for 30 days straight. I ended up going for, I think it was like 273 days or something like that in a row. And the only reason that I stopped was because I got a bad infection and I couldn't get out of bed.
Wow.
That's what broke the streak. And then so I met a friend here when I moved to South Carolina. I made a friend, and he's a fitness coach, and he's got like a program. And I just joined. It's an app, and you go to the gym. It gives you the workouts and all that. So I started like his program, and then he's like, got to get 10,000 steps a day. And I started that about a year ago now. And I do workouts like anywhere from 4 to 6 days a week. Like right now, like depending on the program, like right now I'm in like a 6 day a week program. I have never once missed a workout. there's over 250 workouts or something like that. I have done every single one of those 250 workouts. I moved it from one day to the next, or something like that, but I've never missed one, and I have not missed one day of 10,000 steps either. And it's like going on, and it's probably like a year now that since we started doing this stuff.
That's exceptional.
It's addicting, man. It's addicting once you see some results.
Yeah, it's a commitment thing too. Yes, but like I've been stuck for a while, like a little bit now, and it's my own fault. I'm like eating a little bit lazy or whatever, because I'm just like I know that I can eat a little more and not gain any weight, because
You
I'm
earned
like,
it.
yeah, that's it right there.
You earned it.
But yeah, it's a commitment thing. It's like, this is exactly what I'm telling people now and this is going to circle right back to the people that want to get started with video. Here's what you need to do. 30 days. 30 days. Commit to doing a video for 30 days in a row, and do it for 30 seconds. Just grab your phone for 30 seconds and talk into the camera, and just it could be about anything. It could be about a client meeting that you had. It could be about something that went right, something that went wrong, something that's going on outside of work, whatever that's bothering you, or something good that happened outside of work. My kid did this. Just get comfortable, talk on camera every day into the camera for 30 days for 30 seconds. And then at the end of that 30 days, what I want people to do is I want people to watch video number 1 and then watch video number 30. Right after each other. Video number 1, video number 30. You are going to get 1% better every day. When you're doing video and you're brand new to it, from day 1 to day 2, you're going to get 100% better. And from day 2 to day 3, you're going to get 50% better, and so on and so on. And see, Marty could probably, it's the same thing with fitness, right? Like the first day is going to be like hard. And then the second day is going to you're going to be that much better. And the third day, you're going to be that much better. And every day you get a little bit better. So really by the time from day 1 to day 30, like 1,000 times better, really. Than you were one. And you can literally see it when you watch video 1 and video 30. And usually if you do that, you stick to it for 30 days, you're good.
Yeah. You're good. So there's your Ask Nation. As you're listening to the show today, go ahead, Steve Marty.
I was going to say, Keith, some of those videos you laugh at that I do, they're like one take now.
Oh yeah, I guess they are, right?
So often now, it's just one take. Just turn it on and go.
That's exactly it. So there's a challenge, Nation. There's a challenge from Danny DeVecchio this morning. If you're listening to this and you're thinking about what you're going to do, you're wanting to get started with video, we've given you every reason to get started today. Just shoot a video. Just shoot a 30-second video and then put your phone down. Right? Put your phone down and then do it again tomorrow. And then do it again the next day. Just do it again the next day. All right, so we're running a few minutes behind. I'm going to have Jimmy on my ass here, see Marty, because I haven't done the account. I haven't done the old creator spotlight yet. So I'm going to shine the light on somebody this morning, Nation. We're wrapping up our show. We get 6 minutes left before we say goodbye. Today, our creator spotlight. Here is where we like to do a little, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to find this on my, that's that there. Today is what we do. I'm looking for the applause, see Marty. I gotta get better at this part. So, hey, we are going to shine the light today. We're shining the light today on somebody who I have been getting to know on the platform. Today's creator spotlight, he's all about music, and it is Christopher Louterman. So I have been getting to know Chris over the last couple of weeks here. He is a audio guy. Christopher Louterman, congratulations being named the Krasky Creator Rankings Creator Spotlight here today in the lab. He's a creative strategist. He's a brand story songs. He is all about, Danny. So just like you are into video, Chris is about the jingle. He's about the audio effect. He's about associating brands with audio. So if you're a brand, and he's of the opinion, and it's hard to argue with him, that we've lost the art of the jingle. We've lost the art of the audiophonic sound associated with things. Remember, Danny, when you were selling Nokia phones back at Radio Shack years ago, there's that very distinct sound on the new Nokia phone, right? Sure. And Christopher is really working hard to bring this idea of working with brands at adding music and sound back to their content, that recognizable audio sound, because we all know, guys, every great music artist, let's just be frank here, without judgment, let's talk about people like Drake or Led Zeppelin or U2 or Coldplay. There's a very distinct sound. Very distinct sound. It's like a brand sound. You know how they sound. Chris is of the same opinion that brands, if they're doing their job, they themselves will create a very distinct sound for all of their marketing, all their ads. So Danny, perhaps in your world, maybe as you start your video or as you end your video, Chris would argue that, hey, maybe you want to have some kind of sound that if your audience is not watching right now, they're like, oh, that's DeVecchio. I get the sound of DeVecchio.
Mm.
4 seconds, 10 seconds, or at the end, either See Marty Fit with you as well. Or maybe it's even like a brand song, right? Where there's the See Marty Fit song. It's like a 90-second, 2-minute song that is not cheesy, but it's something that's recognizable that if you're not watching, you're like, oh yeah, I know that's See Marty Fit's content. So today we are shining light. Christopher Louterman, keep up the great work, man. I've been doing some work with Chris on the Odie song, but he is all about driving audio, brand awareness around audio and sound. So Chris, congratulations on all the great work you're doing. Keep showing up, my friend. I know great success is in your future, gentlemen. All right, creator spotlight. Danny DeVecchio, See Marty Fit, Keith Bellis here, wrapping up the show. Danny, this has gone fast, man.
It always does. It always does.
It always does. So what's the future for Danny DeVecchio in the last 3 minutes here? We're see Marty and myself were talking about this yesterday, that we're already in the middle of May. It's actually middle of June when you think about it, right? We're at the middle of 2024. When you look at the rest of the year, Danny, what's on your path? Vertical video is coming to LinkedIn. Give us some things to consider as we're wrapping up the conversation today, Danny.
Yeah, totally. For anybody that's looking at LinkedIn video right now and thinking, hey, LinkedIn's starting to prioritize video content more. It's becoming a thing. It's real and is trying to get into it. Whether you're looking to do it on your own or whether you're looking for some help, I got all kinds of free resources to help people do it on their own. I got my 7-day video challenge. I created that whole 30 LinkedIn video tips in 30 days to help people that want to do video on their own. And all of that sits inside my free school community. So if anybody wants access to that, just DM me and I'll get you in there to get all those resources. Or if you're thinking about doing video, if you're really seriously thinking about it and want to invest in it, we are growing on my side. We have a great creative team. We got James as my creative director. He's crushing it. We've got some really great editors that are doing the post-production stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as what I'm looking for to do personally, I'm looking to get in and do some more stuff for companies. I've been doing a lot of the solopreneurs and stuff like that. So I want to do a lot of companies. And I've started to get some more companies recently. Subject matter experts inside of companies are like a big thing now.
Yes.
And to have a subject matter expert who is good on video doesn't just help that one person. It can help every single person on the sales team or on the recruiting team or on the marketing team. Subject matter experts and doing video with subject matter experts is something that's caught people's attention, that they should continue to explore and take a look at that. And that's an area that I'm looking at as a potential growth opportunity for me. But yeah, that's it.
That's awesome, man. That's spectacular. Danny, thanks for joining us today, man. I say this all the time. Once a guest of the lab, always a friend in the lab. We roll here 5 days a week in the morning show. I got my lunchtime show as well. The invite now is open to you, pal. You got something you want to talk about? You have an announcement? You have an offer? You're like, hey, I want to go sit and hang out with See Marty Fit with my coffee in the morning. Come join us. My ambition here is to create a big global conversation and invite people in and out and come and go and have some fun to have people start the day. Old school radio morning show, TV morning show kind of thing. That's what we're trying to do here in the lab. So
I love it, man. It's fun. It's fun. I'm glad you guys invited me. I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
totally.
Absolutely. See, Marty, what do you got going on the weekend, man, before we flip off, say goodbye today?
One of my clients has like a birthday party or something tomorrow.
Nice.
So she just turned 60. So
fantastic.
She doesn't look it either. So she's super excited about it. So I'm gonna go there, show some love, workout, content, podcast tonight. Tune in if you're not busy, Keith.
Yes.
And just hang out, man. Just chill.
Awesome. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm heading out for my beautiful wife's birthday was yesterday, so we're gonna head out for. She's listening right now. She doesn't know, so I'm not gonna say much more.
Hey, Lauren.
But there's a surprise happening later today from my baby. So we're gonna do something with her later today. And Danny, I want to reference one thing you said before we say goodbye that I really want to make sure I say it out loud. You have a couple boys, and you said something during the show here today that I got to show up for my boys. the fact that you do show up every single day, I got kids as well, man. My kids keep me accountable because I see how hard they work. Your kids are watching you, DeVecchio, and they see how hard you're working. And that message you're giving your kids right now, and I bring it up because I got my 2 dads in the lab show today at noon. Our kids don't listen to us. Our kids watch us. And dude, your kids are watching you every single day. Your boys are watching you. They are being led by clearly a driven human being who's all about streaks, see Marty. And
super dad.
yeah, you watch one day, DeVecchio. You're going to go.
You guys, I'm going to give you something cool. And this is probably, this could extend into a longer conversation at some point.
Yeah.
Kids have a business.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. They have monthly recurring revenue.
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah. They have,
they have
an online, and they have subscribers. They have annual subscribers, and they have monthly subscribers, and they make videos.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
So there's the hook. So I'm going to stop it there. DeVecchio's coming back for a round 2. We're going to have 2 boys' names. What are your boys' names?
Lucas and Julian.
See, Marty, should we invite Lucas and Julian to the show with us?
Absolutely. Why not?
I can go get them.
I think we bring him into the show for a second conversation. We wrap up this one today. We come back for a round 2. Hey, school's off in a couple of weeks, Danny. So summer vacation's around the corner.
Homeschool. They're home all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to have them on the show, talk about business. And oh my God, what a great way to end the show.
I'm sure I can learn something.
Yeah, you and me both, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure I can learn something. Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. I got some content to cut up. I got some stuff I got to get done today. DeVecchio, you have been an exceptional guest. Oh, what's this here? Robert Coe. Have a great weekend. Have a chill weekend. All three of you keep me real nice to see. And yes, Danny, plan those days off the platform, man. And Danny, when you take the days off the platform, tell me so maybe I'll crack the peanut butter jar. I haven't opened this thing since October 31st.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Good to meet you, Marty.
Nice to meet you, Danny, for sure.
Guys, have a great day. Danny, we'll see you in the feed, pal. You're always welcome back, my brother. See, Marty, we'll have a good one as well. We'll see you guys later, okay?
All right. See you later.
Cheers, nation. See you guys.
See ya.